Hi everyone, and welcome to the first card for the online party. This is using the set Ocean Commotion from the new mini catalogue, which runs out on the 31st of March. And the card is made using a resist technique which I got from Kerry Rootsy, who's one of the girls in my team. And I just think this is a lovely technique. First thing we're doing is using gloss card, and we're inking the seaweed stamp with the stays on pad because that doesn't slip on gloss. Stamp that onto the white gloss 3 times and then clean the stamp very well using our stamp cleaning system. And you spritz the one side with the stamp cleaner and you rub the stamp on the one side and then you dry it on the other side, and your stamp comes up perfectly clean, and those pads can be clipped out and washed very, very easily. Once the stamp is clean, ink it with Versamark and then stamp slightly to the right of each image, and that is what's going to give you your resist look, and it's really, really effective. Once you've done the 3 images, you're going to ink a brayer, and I'm using the Rich Regal stamping spot sets, and you get 12 little ink pads in the set, and this is like using a multicolored die pad, but you can choose your own combinations. So I'm using Brocade Blue and Ballet Blue, and you just ink the brayer as you see in the video, alternating the 2 colors until the brayer is inked, and just keep turning the roller until the whole thing is covered with ink, and then you roll it onto your card. Now when I roll, I always roll diagonally, and you start off the card on a piece of scrap paper because you don't want to wreck your table, in one direction, and then you turn the card and roll in the other direction because you want to get an underwater feel, and this will give you that sort of feel with a bit of texture. I think it's very effective. Once you've brayed the card, you can see how that resist pops out of it. It just looks beautiful. And then using snail adhesive, you just run the snail down the corners of the card, you're not building a house, and stick it onto a real red base. And I think the red and the blue looks really great together. And then what you're doing is you're inking the stamp with the real red marker. You can use an ink pad, but the marker's just as easy, and our markers come in the sets of 12 as well. Stamp the fish onto another piece of gloss card, and then very diligently blot that image, because otherwise you'll get smudges when you go to cut it out or to put your glitter on. Just use a piece of paper towel or even toilet paper, it's fine. Anything that's going to blot it, even scrap paper will work. But make sure that when you're using gloss card that you blot. Then you use a 2-way glue pen, and you just draw with the pen in the lines, and our pen is fantastic. It's really easy to control, and you can get quite a thin line. And once you've glued all the areas that you want to glue, you pour the Dazzling Diamonds glitter over the top and tap off the excess into a piece of scrap paper that you've folded in half, and then you can just tip that back into the jar so you don't waste anything. And then you cut out the fish carefully so you don't smudge all the glitter, and I'm using our little paper snips there. And once you've cut the fish out, you apply some Stampin' Dimensionals to the back, peel off the backing and stick that onto the card. Now you can use one fish and put some words on the right hand side, or you can do what I've done and actually put 3 fish onto the card, and I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm really pleased with this card.